Good morning, students, and welcome to our English language class. Today, we will be talking on the topic letter writing, and we are going to look at the two main types of letter writings, which are the formal and the informal types of letter writing. Our focus of this lesson will be on the informal letter. And so this brings us to a very important question, which is, what is an informal letter? Now, what is an informal letter? An informal letter is a type of letter that is written to a friend. You can write informal letters to a relative, to someone we know very well, or we can also write informal letters to someone very close to us, and also to our parents. So informal letter, as the name implies, is a letter that is written to somebody whom we know very well, somebody who is a friend, a relative, or someone whom we are very close to, like our parents. And as it is called an informal letter, this implies that it does not follow a specific form of writing, since it is informal. And so this brings us to what we refer to as the structure of an informal letter. And since we say informal, it means that there is no formal structure. However, we are going to look at the various samples or structures of informal letters. And if we look at this picture ahead of us, we will see that informal letters usually have an address, or the address of the writer. It usually has a date of the day the letter is written. It equally has the greetings, equally greet, and we have the first paragraph and the second paragraph of the letter, as well as we always have a conclusion. Now, let us look at the characteristics of informal letters. Informal letters have specific characteristics, and if we look at the first characteristics of an informal letter, we will discover that it makes good use of shorthand writing or abbreviations. And if we take for instance, we could use examples such as bros, sis, dad, mom, education, there, over, singing, school, wonderful, love you, miss you. And if we look at these words that have been written down, we will discover that they have been written in shorthand. Bros is used there to represent brother. Sis is used there to represent sister. Education is presented in an abbreviation, DE, DE to represent there, and apostrophe VER to represent over. Even the spelling of school is abbreviated. The spelling of you, as in love you, there too is abbreviated. And we'll see that this is very common with informal letters, since we are writing it to our friends and to people whom we are close and used to. Also, they also make use of local parlance or jargonism. These are common words. These are words that we speak in our quarters, in our home, and among our peers or among our friends. For example, we could say Ade, how far? E no easy. Wusa you dey? Join me. These are words that are not English words. They are not grammatically correct, but they do carry meaning, of course, and we call them local parlance or jargonism. if we look at the third characteristics of informal letter, we will discover that there is no formal structure. An informal letter does not have a formal structure. For example, we could discover that all the letters does not or do not have formal structure. And if we look at these examples or of samples of informal letters, we discover that there is no specific structure that such formal letters are bound to follow. And therefore, we are going to look at the various or the different types or samples of informal letters that have been used in this essay. For example, we have the first sample here. We can see from what the picture has presented that when you write a letter to someone you know well, you use friendly, informal language. You usually put your address and the date at the top of the page, but sometimes this information is not included. The thank you letter on the right hand side of this board is an example of an informal letter. And if we look at this picture or this sample in white, we will discover that Elise room, it happens to be the address, and the person writing is Elsie, and 26th Top Lane, Topsville. And if we look at the date there, we see that there is a date that has been written down, and then if we follow, we see there's an opening formula, and there's an opening formula there, which is a Dear Gran, and you see a Gran there has been written in abbreviation, that's which carries part of the characteristics of an informal letter. Even the date there, we discover that it has been written 14 June, but the year has not been indicated. And if we look at the rest of the two paragraphs, you discover that they are the body. It is the body of the letter. And let us look at this other example. We discover that at the end here is take care, which is the conclusion. The way he ends the letter with take care. And if we look at the second sample, we discover that there is no address. No address has been given on this second sample. No title has been given to the essay. We discover that even at the end of the essay, it's just one name that has been used, and the address of the person has instead come at the end of the essay instead of at the beginning of the essay. This is just to justify the fact that this letter is an informal letter. Informal in that it does not follow some particular rules that we are supposed to follow, and because the letter is written to somebody who is close to us, our friends, who will understand no matter the method or the style you present your material to him. Let us look at sample 3. We discover that this one too has no title. The name has not been indicated, but the address has been given at the top right hand side of the paper. We discover that at the end, only one name has been given, and the name has come at the end of the essay. Let us look at this other sample, sample 4. We discover that here no name or address has been given, but only the date has been indicated. Also, we discover here that no greetings have been given, and no title of the essay has also been given. And in the letter, we discover that the person writing this letter, Dexter, is writing to Margaret, and he goes on to say, Margaret, I just wanted to send you a quick letter to let you know that you are on my mind. I have been thinking about you, and our walk on the beach all day. Wasn't it awesome? I am smiling about it as I write this letter. When will I see you again? Best wishes, oh, cheese. You discover that the letter is very short. It does not have a title. It does not have greetings. The person just writes the letter straight to the point. And he's using very jargonic words such as best wishes, I am, see abbreviation of I am, wasn't it, see look at the way he's using wasn't it, I have been thinking, look at the way he spells the word I have, the way he spells I have, the way he writes wasn't it. These are words that he has written using shorthand writing, which are characteristics of informal letter, as well as these jargonic words, best wishes, cheers. All of these are words that are not used in a formal letter, but since this is an informal letter, they are allowed. So the name is only one name that has been indicated. Let us look at this other sample, sample 5. We discover that there is an address of the writer. There is the date below it. We also have informal greetings, dear Mimi. We have the body or the content of the letter directly below it. If you can follow up the letter gradually, if you read this letter, you will see how ideas unfold, and you see that he has made good use of shorthand writing, which are all characteristics of informal letter. There is no title to this letter, and we also discover that the ending there is take care, Michael, and he has used abbreviation PS, please reply, and you see all of these are characteristic features of informal letters. Now look at sample 6. You see that this other letter has started with P.O. box. No name has been given, but the date without the year has also been given to. Also discover here that the greeting here is dear George. You see, and all of these other paragraphs are the body, and then we have the conclusion. This is also a love letter written to George. And you see there's a lot of suspension sign. You see, hope you are great. I am doing lovely. Then suspension sign. Sorry about the code and all of that. You discover that there's a lot of short-handed writing in this kind of letter, which goes to justify the fact that it is an informal letter. Conclusively, we can, looking at this picture in front of us, we can say that a formal letter always has an address. That is the address of the writer, which can take any other form with a date, which might also not be complete. It equally has the greetings, which is usually dear friend, dear brother, sister, which can also take a different form of writing. We also have the first paragraph. We equally have the second paragraph, which carries the body of the essay. Then we equally have the conclusion of the essay. We can talk about the introduction, the body, and the conclusion when we're talking about informal letter. It usually has an address, introduction, the main body of the essay, and the conclusion. It was nice talking to you on the lesson letter writing, and the focus for today was on informal letter writing. In our subsequent classes, we are going to look at the other form of letter writing, which will be called the formal letter writing. And we are going to draw a distinction between a formal letter writing and an informal letter writing, which we have just discussed in this lesson. I hope to meet you in our subsequent classes. It is me, Mr. Njoka Divine, your English language teacher. Thank you for listening.